Weirdly artistic. Weirdly artistic.
Damn, that's weird. We're back with Nick, Jay, and Jose.
It's weirdly artistic. We're talking art.
We're talking weird and everything under the sun.
Weirdly artistic.
Damn, that's weird.
Weirdly artistic.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Weirdly Artistic Season 2, Episode 2. I'm Jose.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Jordan.
And today we have a very special guest, Josh Celli, joining us for the show. How are you, Josh?
Doing good.
Yeah, man?
Yeah. Wow, that was like in stereo, that song.
Isn't that
Yeah, no,
nice?
it's-
Kinda crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what'd you think of the song?
It was great, man. You did
Yeah.
a great job.
Thank you.
In-house.
We're all singers, as you can tell.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
It's
Love
all
the
auto-tune.
harmonies.
It's all
Yeah.
auto-tune.
Yeah.
GarageBand is a killer editing app.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know. GarageBand's actually good, though.
It is good. It is good.
Yeah.
I think the first
Great.
time I touched GarageBand was actually with you in 7th grade with was Miss Dunn's class, I believe.
Oh, my God. Wow.
Throwback.
Yeah.
What did we make?
It was I remember it was a project, and we all each had to make a song, and I remember
Wow,
you
I wish
helped
we had
her with
recordings for
uploading it
that.
all to iTunes. I
Wow.
have an absorbing memory. I remember.
He doesn't forget
Yes.
things.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think that was like one of like the last times I spent like extended amount of times with you was Dunn's class, Miss Holm. I think
Miss
language arts.
Holm.
It's
great.
home.
Dude, yeah.
I think she kind of Miss Holm was like, she was a cool teacher, right?
yeah, she was cool, yeah.
And she kind of let people like, give her a little bit of crap. And
Yeah,
she was cool with it. She kind of hated it, but was cool with it. But Miss Dunn did not like me.
Really?
No. I think I blocked her name out until you just said that.
Okay, so actually
Wait,
with Miss
who?
Dunn, I think she got in trouble at one point, right?
Oh, no.
She done.
Yeah, I vaguely remember
She
something
got
about
in trouble
this.
with
yeah.
she was smoking with students.
Oh
Actually,
my
we,
gosh.
Damn, so
Sick.
she was the
That's
real
a cool
teacher.
teacher. then.
actually we should probably bleep that out. I'll edit
Bleep.
Yeah,
But,
Jennifer Dunn,
yeah.
who lives at.
Yeah.
that out. But I remember you helped her with because we had the MacBooks in class,
Oh, yeah.
if I remember correctly,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
we all had to make a song, and you helped her like getting
Uh-huh.
all the songs onto iTunes.
Easy.
Yeah,
Good
dude, this
times,
was
good
7th
times.
grade. How long was it?
I mean, that's not easy in
It's like
7th grade.
15
It
years
was
ago.
Like
like
2006,
half of my life ago.
2007?
2007. So 17 years ago.
Jeez.
Over half my life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, dude.
That's really depressing.
Yeah.
So
Seventh
grade was
that
great,
last
though.
17 years.
Yeah, right. 7th grade was great, though.
Yeah, good,
Yeah,
That was
good
one
times.
of the better
yeah.
years.
So, yeah, I peaked.
Yeah,
Best year of my life,
I
second
peaked
grade.
in
Best
like
times of my life.
kindergarten.
Yeah. I'm still chasing that high.
Yeah, I'm still
Honestly,
chasing
years of my life. But Josh, thank you for coming on, man.
course.
Uh,
Good to see you.
obviously, this is a podcast about artistry, and me personally, I think you're a fantastic artist. Like I listened to your album. Awesome fucking work, dude.
Thanks, appreciate it.
I've also witnessed your family for a very long time. I mean,
Yes.
bunch of shredders is all you are. It's just crazy. Like,
My dad's the real shredder.
I mean, come on. It's in the bloodline.
Yeah.
It's in the bloodline.
Yeah.
I've seen you up there.
I got his nose and his shredding abilities.
Yeah. You don't run though, right?
Mm-mm.
You hike mountains.
No, that's
that
your
counts.
sister. Your sister took up the run.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
took up the music side.
Yes.
That's
Correct.
dude. Honestly, your family's impressive. Just as
Yeah.
a whole,
We were talking a little
honestly.
bit
Yeah.
today. It's kind of crazy.
I was talking about this the other day too with someone who's like, because we were talking about this, a friend of mine. His brother just doesn't really do anything, just kind of like sits around. And I was like, it made me realize, like, yeah, my family actually has a lot of very high achieving people
Very high.
who are really like very ambitious people. Like my sisters are both in psychology, therapists, and
Yeah.
like my older sister has 5 kids, 5 sons,
Bless you,
8
Chelsea.
and under,
Yeah.
and still is doing.
They're
therapy and
destroying.
stuff. Yeah.
They're destroying.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Caitlin too just had a baby,
Yeah.
and she's
And she just
like,
ran a marathon.
She just like
I mean, yeah, Caitlin's definitely.
And your
she's
dad
awesome.
runs 5 or 6 marathons a year. I mean, that might
Yeah,
be an
something like that.
underestimate.
I've definitely
think he-
seen your dad running around Maple Valley. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just hold the horn at this point. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
Sean!
Yeah, he's a great runner. He just finished his second to last major marathon, which is like they have like the major world marathons.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember what it is, but it's like Berlin, Chicago, New York, like the big ones.
Boston.
Boston, I think, is one of them. I'm not sure if maybe Chicago's not, but I think there's 7, and he has one left. It's Tokyo, but he just
Wow.
ran Berlin for the 3rd time. Yeah, he's a great runner.
Yeah, he's a savage.
Incredible runner. Yeah.
And an incredible guitarist.
Yep, great guitar player.
That's
too.
the way it is.
Yeah.
So let's get started with.
Okay, wait. Before we hop into those, just give us a little bit of background about like what you do, what you're interested in, like kind of. I know you're kind of both sides of the world. You're very smart, but you're also very artistic. Like you have both going for you. So like what are you doing? Like what is the
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely identify as mostly a creative person, but I was thinking about this earlier, and I mean, I do a lot of music right now. I mean, for work, I'm doing like kind of like a linguistics oriented job, data type of stuff, and
smart side?
and that's what I did. That's what I did for college was linguistics, and I love languages and language learning, dissecting language and stuff like that. But I love music. Music's always really been the thing that I love the most, and played music for most of my life. And then hobby-wise, like you mentioned, I really like mountains. That's
Big
probably
hiker.
like takes up most of my time is mountaineering. And stuff.
Yeah. So you when I was talking to you about coming on the show, you said you were hiking up, going up Mount Rainier. How was that?
Yeah, so that was my first time summiting Rainier with my buddy Dan, who I met this year. He moved down here for like 4 months, and he climbed all the major volcanoes in Washington in one summer,
Wow.
which is pretty
That's
freaking insane.
That's
I mean,
pretty impressive.
yeah. So we both finished the 5 major volcanoes in on that day, which is like Baker, St. Helens Glacier.
Did you
There's
do
5 of them.
all 5 with him?
No, I had done. I think that's the only one I did with Dan. But yeah, he just went crazy this summer. And anyway, so the story about Rainier was crazy because we were supposed to go with another guy who ended up dropping out because basically the glacier, there's always a window for when you can climb
Yeah.
stuff
Okay.
every year. So you have and Rainier is heavily glaciated, so there's lots of glaciers. And these glaciers crack up and become crevasses, and crevasses are like the most dangerous thing that you can possibly interact with.
Yeah.
Like you fall down, you just
Yeah.
You're done.
eaten by the mountain, and you
Yeah.
will die. You will not get out.
We've
Unless
seen
you're
Family Guy.
Yeah. What?
I said we've seen Family Guy.
Yeah, right.
When they do Everest.
That's our experience right there. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's how
I mean,
close we
it's
are.
kind of accurate actually, but you can fall. I mean, if you fall down a crevasse, you're screwed. Anyway, you rope up people. Somebody falls down. The idea is you have like crevasse rescue training. You can, hold the fall with your ice axe. You can get somebody out. But you guys are all living in Maple Valley, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or in this
Well,
area.
Sumner. Yeah.
Okay, so it got really hot this summer for a little while,
Mhm.
and the glaciers just went absolutely bonkers, cracked open, shattered, and so we were hearing about they're going to close down the mountain because basically Rainier, they've kind of given jurisdiction to like 3 guide groups. So they're like the main 3 guide groups that are allowed to guide people on Mount Rainier, and they kind of have control over when the mountain is open, and they put flagging and put signs up and stuff like
That's
that. You don't have
super
to go
smart,
with
though.
them. Yeah, you don't have to go with them. And I thought about going with them in the past, but for my kind of mountaineering goal for myself, I wanted to lead a glacier team up Rainier. Anyway, so long story short, the mountain started cracking, going crazy, and so this one guy was like, "Hey, I don't really want to die tomorrow, so I'm not gonna go with you guys." And then Dan, who's like, he's my buddy, who's like the daredevil guy. He's like, "Dude, like, bro, when are we going?" So we went, and we decided it was originally gonna be a 2 or 3 day climb. You go up to 10,000 feet, which is like an alpine camp called Camp Muir. It's been there for many years, and you sleep there, and then you try to summit early in the morning. But we're like, it was looking like we had like maybe 24 to 36 hours left before the mountain was literally impassable. So we're like, let's just do it car to car. It means like a 1-day climb.
Yeah.
So we left at 4 p.m. and then got up to Camp Muir at like 10 p.m. I was talking to all these guides, and they're basically like, don't go up there. Do not go up there. It's terrible. And then I met this one guide. He's like, you can go up there, dude. Like,
You can do it.
You
You
can
can
do
do
it.
it.
Just give it a shot. And so Dan was like, that's enough for me, dude. Let's
Yeah.
go. So we just went up and
1 of 20.
yeah, exactly. So we went up, and it was all in headlamps all night, and we
Wow.
summited at 4 a.m. And it was like
Watched
a
the
meteor
sunrise.
shower
Beautiful
too.
view, I was-
Wow.
It was absolutely awesome. Like giant crater at the top, and then we had to get down before the sun came up. So like the picture is really kind of funny because Rainier's been a goal for me for a long time. And I thought about, I'm gonna have this picture of me standing on top of Rainier. The picture of me standing on the top of Rainier is just like me against a black background. Like
Yeah.
I could have just taken it. But the the
promise it's
shot.
back there.
Yeah, exactly right. And then but the coming down was great. I mean, is sun rising it was incredible.
No, dude,
So
I
yeah,
can
that was
imagine.
definitely a highlight. But it's been a heavy climbing year for me. Definitely had a lot of time to climb, and it's been.
What else
this
did you
is the
climb
year.
this year?
I think last weekend was like the 66th peak of the year. I'm trying to hit 75 this year.
Damn.
Jeez.
And it's been, it's a mix of like it's kind of weather determined. So throughout the year you have, like I'll trail run, I do trail running, long approaches and stuff. And then sometimes it's rock climbing or I'm okay at ice climbing, but stuff like that, glacier travel. It's all sorts of different things. And what's interesting about mountaineering actually is that it kind of forges a lot of different sports. So some people are into skiing, backcountry skiing. Like I'm not a skier really. I want to get into backcountry skiing and at some point because it takes forever to get down a mountain.
Yeah.
You can ski, it's great. But there's all sorts of climbing and running and blah blah blah, and you kind of pick things that you like and forge them together. So yeah, it's been a really good year. Last weekend I went with this guy who is trying to climb the highest point of every country, which has never been done.
Wow.
And actually, my girlfriend told me something the other day. She said that there's more people who have gone to space than have even been to every country. So like getting to every country is insane because you're talking about like North Korea.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not just
that's
like,
true.
I'm going to I'm going to whatever or some random like Jamaica or something.
Mexico.
Yeah, it's not like a vacation thing all the time. It's like getting into some countries is really hard. Anyway, so he's trying to climb the high point of every country. Crazy climber, like a legendary climber in the area, and he's been surveying mountains. So, most of the mountains out here were surveyed in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and they're off by and in the mountaineering community, there's all this hype about what mountain's the highest. This mountain's like number 60, this is the 63rd, not the 62nd highest in the country in the state.
Based off one number.
Yeah, based off one number. And so it was this old, geological survey that did it. Anyway, he's trying to update it. So we brought up this surveying equipment, and it was called Mount Formidable, North Cascades. We went up there and surveyed that. It was awesome. It's been an awesome year of climbing. I mean, this year is, or this state is great for climbing, like one of the best alpine climbing areas in North America for sure.
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah, man.
Into them.
So,
into the art.
So yeah, into the art. So tell the people what you're all into. I mean, obviously you're into music, but you mentioned you were into making videos at one point as well. Like what all are you involved in as far as artistry comes?
I mean, music is usually the driving one, but I've been in, I don't know, I guess music's the only one that's stuck my whole life. Because I used to be really into video, and I've done, visual art on the side and stuff, but I never I got into all these different types of things for like a year, and then they would just kind of fade away because it was fun to try out. But the only one that I was really good at was music. But I had fun. I mean, I've had fun doing a lot of different types of stuff. But yeah, video definitely. I still like making videos. I used to do some animation and stuff like that. But music, yeah, just kind of all forms of music's always been the one.
I mean, we know the answer to this, but how'd you get started in music?
So, yeah, you mentioned my dad.
Yeah.
My dad is a great guitar player.
And also has one of the prettiest collections on the planet.
Yes. So it was hard not to get into guitars because I was,
surrounded.
Surrounded by truly, if you're a guitar person, I mean, he's got a legitimate collection, like really, really nice instruments. Yeah. And
Can you name one of his oldest or like his prettiest? What's your favorite out of the collection?
You're speaking to Jordan here.
Yeah, Jordan's the guitarist
guitar
here.
He's the guitarist.
That's why he's got the guitar above his head there. Yeah.
Right here,
okay, so I'll speak your language a little bit, and you have no idea what I'm talking about. So he's a Strat guy, big Strat guy.
Already up my alley.
He's very much
got a couple Tellys. Nice. So Telly is, in my opinion, that's the best electric guitar you can buy because Telecaster, Fender Telecaster, it's kind of like the baby brother to the Stratocaster, which anybody who sees a Stratocaster, you would know instantly what it is. It's still
an iconic guitar.
A sound is a sound.
Exactly. And so a Telecaster, it's a slightly less popular model, but it's got like a really nice twangy sound and really, really punches through the mix. Exactly. So my dad, he loved Strats, but he just loves electric guitar. He's an electric guitar player. Really good guitar player, definitely from the kind of like 70s, 80s school of like lead guitar playing, which in my opinion is something that's very much been lost in music. Like lead guitar is not trendy at all anymore. It's not cool to take a solo anymore. There's a lot of guitar playing, but guitar is totally in the background based on what it was in the 70s, 80s, like really driving music. Anyway, so he was a guitar head and still is, and really loved guitar pedals.
Oh man, his pedal setups are unreal.
His pedal setup is literally bigger than the couch you're sitting on.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's like a spaceship electrical panel. And it's funny because he's like, he'll be like playing at church.
Yeah.
And he's got like 50 pedals
Dude,
in front of him.
whenever I'm doing video, I'm like, I'm bringing the big lens because I saw Sean's on the schedule.
Exactly.
I'm going in for the close-ups.
Wait, are you doing video there now?
I do it like once a month.
Oh, cool. Sweet.
Yeah. Just pick up.
Yeah. They do good stuff there. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
My old church.
So, great guitar player, great guitar collector, had tons of guitars growing up. I always heard him playing, always heard him soloing. Like one of my earliest memories is like watching my dad's hands and remembering. I remember I was probably like 5 or 6 years old, and he would play a lot unplugged electric.
Ooh.
And just kind of, and if you know that sound, it barely cuts through, but it's just this really,
It's enough.
like you said, very attack heavy sound. I just remember that and watching his hands as a little kid and thinking it looked like a spider because he was going up and down. I thought it was so cool. And so but he tried to teach me guitar. I didn't really want to learn guitar as a kid. I just kind of had to find it on my own. So, but I was around music a lot because of that. And kind of just like by osmosis, I guess I just got the love for guitar pedals. I still really love guitar pedals.
Secondhand smoke kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Except you want that.
Yeah, you want it.
Yeah. Except it doesn't like slowly make your.
It doesn't
lungs
kill
decay.
you. Yeah.
But anyway, I kind of got into probably around the time I was like 11 or 12. I started getting into music, listening to music. And venturing out into different types of music, and what really got me in the beginning was like late '60s, early '70s rock, like hippie stuff, and I was really. Jose probably remembers, like he used to wear tie-dye pants to school.
Yeah,
I remember.
dude.
I remember. Yeah.
Dude, the pants.
Yeah.
The bell bottoms.
I really
you and
loved
Chris
the
Alcorn were
60s.
Kind of
huge,
back, baby.
Oh, man.
like
You were
music
above,
heads.
you were
Oh, yeah.
part of the trend.
Exactly.
You were ahead of the time, honestly.
I'm a trendsetter, man. Okay.
Well, it comes back every 20 years, so I mean,
Yeah.
repeating it ahead of the
I'm gonna be so cool, and I'm like 31.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 11 or 12, really interested in different types of music and just Pink Floyd and the Doors, blah 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 blah. Really got into music.
Oh, the Doors.
And then Chris Alcorn showed me a ton of music too. I just remember, having a friend who was really into music, and it was cool because you would just sit around and listen to albums, which was like kind of a weird thing for like 12, 13-year-old.
Yeah,
but it was
seemed
really
very
fun.
80s.
Like, yeah.
Like
it's very
full
80s
records.
things to do, like
Yeah.
just sit around and listen
so
to music.
good for your musical growing up.
It is, and that was when I really got into listening to full records. Like not doing the shuffle thing. And I remember the iPod Shuffle came out, and I got one. I was like, this is the stupidest thing in the world. It's like exactly what I don't want. I want to listen to a full record.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
Wait, do you want to
Yeah.
explain why you need to listen to a full record to them real quick too?
Well, I don't think you need to, but I think it's good.
But a lot of the
Some
times
artists
there's
do it on
there's like
purpose,
a
though.
story
It
to
is
it,
a
Right.
right?
purpose to
It
it.
leads you
It's
through a
just-
journey
Yeah.
of
Yeah. Totally. I mean, so one thing that was really popular in the 70s was concept albums or like rock operas. So, they're like David Bowie would do this, Pink Floyd would do this. It was very kind of came out of like the progressive rock genre, I guess. And it really was a story where sometimes it was a little over the top story. And it was kind of like, okay, it's a crappy story, great music. But for the most part, they would tell a full story. That's what got me into listening to full records. And then it's starting to listen to every record fully all the way through. It's like,
Like your
wow.
emotions can change you between the songs. That emotion was here in this whole song for 5 minutes
Right.
fucking long, and then
Well, and
the
it's
next
like,
one comes.
yes, totally,
Yeah.
totally, yeah. And just sitting for 45 minutes and listening to something, it's just a way different experience than like putting something on your car for 5 minutes and just it's like playing in the
Or
background.
shuffling.
Yeah, after like 15 to 20 minutes, you can't just it can't be background music anymore. Like
No.
you're in it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I really loved just discovering new music and listening to new music, and then started to play bass when I was 11, 12. And that
Yep.
was my first instrument. It's still my main instrument. I think bass is the best instrument.
That's
The
where I know
rarest-
you.
I'm a
guys.
bass supremacist.
I know you're a
breed to
bassist.
Yeah.
find.
Yeah, bass.
Rarest breed, man.
It's what?
The rarest breed to find of
Yeah.
like people dabble in bass. People good
Right.
at bass. Very rare breed.
Oh, yeah. Very few people. Bass is not the main instrument for many people. There are a lot of guitar players who can kind of fake it on bass. Tons of different music you can fake it on bass, but bass is such a great instrument. And I was just really attracted to bass because all the music I liked had great bass lines and had great bass players. And like I remember listening to Rush. I don't know if you guys ever listened to Rush.
That's
You
favorite
kidding
band.
me?
Rush, just like the guy, the bass player Geddy Lee, he has like one of the highest voices you'll ever hear. It's like way higher than any
But he
woman's
plays the
voice.
lowest
But he
instrument.
plays the lowest instrument. It's
Yeah.
super cool. And then
He's the most contrasted player out there.
exactly, yeah. So he's holding up like both sides of the spectrum, which is really cool. And then, so I would learn some bass lines and got really into bass. And then I started playing at my church, which is the
Yeah,
church that you
where I
still,
saw you.
I don't know, go to or
Yeah.
work at sometimes. I don't know.
Yes.
But it's a church in Maple Valley, and it's this church called New Community. And I started there when I was
You'd be like 14, 15.
Yeah, I
That's
think
when we were doing stuff.
I think so I started working for them. I don't know if you ever knew Kenny Shaw or Sean Jungren.
I know Sean Gungren. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
so
not going to say that name again, but
so
yes.
a couple of guys who they were the kind of the creative guys at the church at the time. Sean was he's a really good friend of my dad, awesome guy, really really good musician, great songwriter, and he was the worship pastor, and he had this a kind of apprentice guy, Kenny Shaw, he's probably like, I don't know, 10 years older than me or something like that, but he was in his probably early 20s at the time. And so I started there doing lighting and running cables and stuff like that.
PA.
And my dad, yeah, exactly. And it was really cool because both Sean and Kenny were like, they were so serious about making the creative side of the church really, really good. The music good, like high quality lighting, really thought about the flow and everything. Which at the time, and I still kind of think this, I think it's become more common in American churches, but a lot of churches just don't put a lot of thought into that.
Yeah.
And so it can be hard to like, because eventually I started playing bass there, and my dad had played there for years.
I love
so
when we got the Celli duo. That was the best.
Yeah,
it was
great.
the best.
Yeah. So my dad playing like tasteful licks, and I'm like overplaying like crazy because I was 13.
Yeah.
But that was what was really cool. Like slapping. It's like they're like hallelujah. I'm like the sign of the bass line.
Anytime Greg and I walked in the church and we saw both Cellis, we're like, it's gonna be a good show today, boys. It's gonna be a good show today.
But yeah, we played a lot of great shows.
You slap at the bass?
Yes. But we it was great because so I started playing there. I probably either the first time when I was 12 or 13, but it was Sean was like, you got to come to rehearsals to play, and you really have to know the music. He was really serious about it, which is cool because he still took in beginners and stuff like that, but he really let me, he made sure that you were playing well, and that's pretty uncommon for a lot of churches. Like, they either have a really high standard or they let anybody play. There's very few, I think, where they're almost like training you up to be a musician.
Yeah.
And so he really helped me, and he let me. I was just learning how to play bass, and the songs are simple in a church, 5-chord songs. It's like for people who can understand this reference, it's like Texas modern American Protestant songs.
Yeah.
Where it's like Hillsong type stuff.
You got to know the same
The
5
1
chords.
through the 5,
together.
that's all you got to know.
Exactly. So but what's great is as a bass player, there's a lot of space to move around, and I was starting to learn about music theory and like chord structure, and I was able to walk bass lines and try to figure things out.
You could slap a little.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And seriously too, because like that guy Sean, he would play. It was mostly worship music, but they would do these series that were like 4 weeks long, and there was a theme. I'm sure they still do something like this. And he would bring in secular music too. So he'd play Beatles songs or something at church, which was really cool. And he'd play songs that had legit bass lines. And exactly. So
more to the music than just like a worship song. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but there wasn't a ton of effort by the artist to put in to have this depth to the song. And so that's something New Community does still do to this day, is that they add a lot of depth, and they bring in secular songs that have more depth, and then they apply the lyrics of a different song to it. And it's beautiful. It works so well. Yeah. But and it also makes people that don't go to the church feel a little more involved, because they're like, oh, I know. Like, why do I know this? Why does this feel like I've heard this before?
Yeah,
it's interesting.
They've always had a great just sense of where to draw the line, I guess. And you know what I'm saying? They've just always done it really well, and it always looks great, and it's all thought out. Anyway,
they got Mitch McGee on there too. Who's a
Mitch
savage.
McGee is legendary.
Legend.
Yeah.
If you're listening, Mitch, legend.
Yeah.
All right.
So anyway, I played bass at church, blah blah blah. Started playing in bands, and it was bass, and then I started writing songs and stuff like that.
And now you have a.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
What did bands look like for you? Was it like you had to, coming from a musician standpoint, there was high school bands, there was middle school bands where it was like, it was fun, and then did you ever have one that was like, okay, this is my first time I'm like taking it serious?
Well, it's kind of I mean, sort of. I went to Tahoma with you guys. Did you go to Tahoma?
Nope.
No.
He's homeschooled.
Homeschooled, but mainly Riverside.
Explains a lot.
Yeah, 'cause I think the
Auburn
last
area.
time I saw you was like
Explains a
maybe
lot.
sophomore
Let's jam
year.
together.
Yeah.
When was the last time I saw you?
I left Tahoma before 10th grade.
Okay, because
So,
I definitely saw you at the junior high, like 9th and 10th,
Yes.
or
Ninth grade.
8th and 9th grade.
Yep.
And then I thought I saw you sophomore year, but like you kind of were just
Yeah, I was. So I went. Tahoma was fine. I liked Tahoma. I had good friends there and everything. But I was really getting into music, and I didn't really care about school at the time at all. Like, kind of hated school.
None of us did.
Nobody likes school.
Which I ended up caring a lot about school later down the road, but at the time I just did not care. And so anyway, I was friends with this guy who I was playing with at youth group through that same church, and really amazing guitar player. His name's Blair Borland.
Oh, I love Blair.
He's truly gifted guitar player. Really,
He's truly gifted musician in general.
Yeah, he's very, very, very good musician. He's doing like film composition now, I'm pretty sure. But
Is he LA or New York? Where's he
I think
at?
he just moved out of. He was in LA, then he moved to Leavenworth. Now he's gone. He's somewhere in Washington again.
Nice.
But they've been moving around a bit. Anyway, so he went to this school called SOTA, Tacoma School of the Arts.
Oh yeah.
And it's a public high school, so it doesn't cost anything to go there or anything, but they actually select if you're allowed to go
I was
in.
gonna
So
say, don't you still have to audition? And
yeah,
stuff.
you have to try out and stuff. And so
It
he-
has to be freshman year.
yes,
Yeah.
and when I started, it was 10th, 11th, 12th. Now it's 9, 10, 11, 12.
I missed the deadline. I was so bummed, dude.
Oh, were you gonna
Yeah,
go?
I was gonna go.
How old are you?
I turned 30.
Same age as me.
this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So I would have gone to school with you. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But you
Um,
would have been a year ahead of us. So.
No, he's same as
I
me.
would've
He's
got
same as me.
Graduated
where we're old.
2012.
Well, yeah, but you were like
Oh,
the end. Yeah, you were the end. Like you were the very, very beginning of our grade. He would have been.
I'm
I
like,
should have
think
been
I'm a year
2012
older.
though.
yeah,
Yeah.
You would have been 2012, and
Yeah,
I
us
should have
were
been 2012,
2013.
yeah.
And I was turning 13.
Yeah.
So School of the Arts. So he was like, oh, you should try out, and I was totally open to doing it. It was in Tacoma. I was living in Maple Valley, so it's really far for every day for high school. But I just sort of tried out. I didn't know if I was going to want to do it. And then got in, ended up going, and it was just a totally radical school. I mean, it was really, really great for me, and just so many great people, and legitimately really good musicians. And everybody was, usually you're going to have at least a faction of people in any high school that kind of gets your music or it gets art or whatever, and then a faction of people who totally don't. But everybody was like really into art and creativity and totally
That's so cool.
open-minded, and a lot of cool people, a lot of just alternative kids,
Yeah.
which I wasn't really one of. I wasn't a super alternative kid, but those were the types of people I could relate to very well. And
Yeah.
there weren't as many of those at Tacoma.
I don't want to say
me.
misfit, but like
Totally.
in the genre of like you're a musician and you don't like relate to others, like that's
It's like, I feel
kind of
like misfits aren't.
it's
like,
not a bad thing.
No, but like I feel like a lot of misfits. I mean, I'm just saying misfits for the sake of like the comment, but like they're like ahead of their time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they're very, like you said, like you kind of found what
Acknowledge
you
what you want to do already.
Like you were listening to full albums as a
Yeah.
12, 13-year-old, where a lot of us don't really.
No.
Like for me, I didn't start doing that until I was like in my 20s, where it's like Logic, the white rapper, like he was one of the latest ones that I saw do a concept album.
Yeah.
Where
Oh,
like
really?
his album
Oh, that's cool.
like told a story where like every song kind of led into the next.
Yeah.
And I didn't start doing that until my 20s, and
Yeah.
I mean you were way ahead of the time.
It's just like it's just people who are really into one thing, whatever
Yeah,
it is, whether
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
music or sports or whatever. Because there's almost a similar vibe when you meet the kid who's like freakishly good at sports, for example.
yeah, yeah.
There's a ton of those. at
He's
high
not a
school.
jock.
lot, though.
He's like a nerd,
Yeah, he's
of
just a-
sports,
baseball,
but of
you know?
sports. Yeah.
which
But
is
there's
it's
a
a
lot
similar
more
type
of
of thing.
that percentage at the high school. Like
Exactly.
just like you were saying, there was I was involved at Auburn Riverside High School,
Uh-huh.
and during being homeschooled, there was one other band, literally, and we were the other band.
Yep.
They sucked. We were good. It was a fun time.
They probably said the same.
But the
We
thing
were
was,
15 and 0 in
everyone,
battle
everyone,
bands.
everyone came to our shows because they didn't know if we were good or not. Either way, they're not musicians like back in the day. Like
Sure.
that
Yeah.
was a plus. Being involved in a public school, I was homeschooled, but I played sports. I was there. I was at the school doing all the talent shows, all the stuff, but we were the popular band, and there was one other band. And
Yep.
That was it.
Totally.
Actually
Yeah.
trying to do things.
it's the misfits.
So anyway, I've taken like a million years to answer this question, but
No,
I
you're
tend
good.
to wind
This is
around a
great.
lot.
This is
So-
This is what we want.
Yeah.
So yes, bands. Okay, so bands, like everyone was in a band at SOTA. We had songwriting class.
Yeah.
So, and you had to write a song, and it was very much theory based. It was like, this guy Paul Elliott, incredible teacher, incredible musician. He started this School of the Arts. He started the school and led the whole music program. I don't think he's there anymore, but he's incredibly brilliant, and he would say, okay, today we're going to learn about 6/8 time or whatever. It was like remedial music theory, and then you get more, as you come in your first year, it's like pretty simple stuff. Write a song in 6/8, and then everybody would, have to perform their song in front of the class. There's a lot of introverts there too. I mean, I remember my first time I did it on a mandolin. For some reason, I was playing mandolin, and
that's dope.
Good for you. Good for you.
You came in, and he's like, okay, so like in 2 weeks we're gonna be it's the first day of school. 2 weeks we're gonna perform your first song. I was like, what the hell is this place? And everybody was freaked out. Extroverts were like, yeah, like it's gonna be sweet. But most people were like, what? And it was, it just forced you to do things that you wouldn't do otherwise, and play in front of people
so
a lot.
dope as an
It's
artist.
good for
Like someone to push
throws you outside of your
Exactly.
box.
Yep. So there were, so many good people doing so many different types of music, and then everybody would. Some people, like, they were like, piano singer-songwriter girls, for example, like, they would always play their songs solo. But most people wanted a drummer, they wanted a bass player. So I got asked all the time. Like, I would have like 15 to 20 songs to learn a week for all these random kids who are like, can you play bass on my song? And then it was cool because then I would give them, I would be like, oh, you should take that verse out, and they would do the same for my music. And it was so much collaboration. It was, at that age, is so great to just sink in. I mean, that's like the prime age. You probably get this. It's just, there's like a window from 13 to maybe like college age, or maybe a little past, depending on who you are, where it's just collaboration musically. It just seeps in like crazy.
Yeah.
It's just, somebody will show you something, and then it will be cemented in you forever. Like,
and
it's
you
gone
remember
from me
it,
now.
like, even if you have your style, it's like, I remember that. Like, I could possibly
it's
add
still
that.
part of your learning years, so it's
Right.
Did Jose tell you what our slogan is?
No.
It's be creative and gain perspective.
Wow.
So it's
Love
kind of,
I like
it
it.
fits in that of the, just do you, and then also take in what others are giving you. And
Well,
and
it kind of
grow
goes
from
to
it.
what we want to do is creatives is like so many industries try to like jump over each other.
Or stab each other.
Totally.
Yeah, where we want to just collaborate. It's like, let's all grow together,
Yeah.
Like, let me help you, you help me, and we grow.
Yeah.
So it's
Totally.
it should all be collaboration, like whatever industry you're in, whatever artistry you're into is.
I miss the community-based era
Yeah.
where we all ate dinner and cooked in one big bowl,
We can bring it back.
But yeah.
I don't think I ever experienced it that far, but
Sweet.
Yeah,
I
no,
get
I'm
the
kidding,
point.
I'm kidding. You get what I'm saying.
Do you feel like
yeah.
I feel like with musicians and memory,
Yeah.
they kind of go hand in hand. You can kind of remember times of your life where you're like, I remember I learned that song for the first time right where I was
Yep.
at. Which
Totally.
is crazy though. It's like it goes all the way up to people having Alzheimer's. You play a song for them and oh my God, it can
Triggers a
take
memory almost.
your memory
Right.
back. And
They
not
can
just
remember
trigger,
yeah,
not
no,
just
it's
trigger.
they
it
remember
brings-
it.
It just brings your memories
Yeah.
back all the way to that point. But like
Yeah.
at the same time, I
It's also an
remember
Alzheimer's thing.
times I've learned a song like I was 14 years old. That was over half my lifespan.
Yeah.
I remember exactly where I was at, exactly what I was doing, and I learned that song. The mind is powerful.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
wonder how that happens. It's almost like it goes. Like when I'm having this experience with you right now, I'll remember it being in the chair in certain moments, things like that, just because I'm here and experiencing it. But when you have like a musical memory like that, it's
emotion.
almost like you don't remember experiencing it. It's more just like the sense of
The
everything.
sense.
It's like way more powerful than a
Yeah.
memory is because it's almost you inhabit it again.
Well,
It's
you're
like
doing,
a flashback.
I think
or
you have
something.
multiple things going at once, right? Like you have your
It's
Right.
memory
it's a lot
going, you
more,
have
like,
your emotion
ethereal.
going.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah.
If I was playing a lick, you're playing this lick, and then all of a sudden Jose and Nick are playing
Yep.
this lick at the same time.
Yeah.
I feel like that. If I ever play that again,
Yeah.
it'll come all
like-
the way back
it's like
to that
transcendent
first
in a
moment.
sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
To jump off of that, because you answered questions 1 and 2 beautifully, I just want to ask, do you have anything to recommend someone that would want to head into this path, of the musician or going to a school that requires you to be a good musician? Like, what would you recommend for that?
Yeah. Music is not my full-time job.
Yeah.
And I've often thought, I wonder what that would be like, but I don't think that that's really for me, because it comes in waves so much for me.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody wants to make music a big part of their life, whether or not you're going to be because I can't speak to trying to be a professional or
Yeah.
make it because I've
Hasn't
never
been the
really
goal.
done that. Yeah. my philosophy on that has been like, if I made a record and it happened to get attention, that'd be really fun.
Yeah.
But it's never going to be the thing that I'm doing 40 hours a week. I couldn't do 40 hours a week. It comes at like 20 hours at a time, then I can't do anything for 2 weeks or something, because it's very, it's, you know. So, but if someone wants to make, you know, make music a big part of their life, you said practice. I don't necessarily agree with that if you're
talented.
I actually think if you have a lot of raw talent, that's when you should practice a lot, because then you can really get incredibly good at an instrument. But like, so I'm more of in the singer-songwriter vein. I do a lot of bass for hire type of stuff, and that I do need to be technically good for that, but I don't practice guitar all the time. I don't practice various instruments all the time, because I'm more of a singer-songwriter, which I almost feel like you can over-practice a little bit, because you can start to, it's like when you learn really good music theory, and you start just thinking like, instead of writing a song from your heart, it's more just like, okay, like I'm going to write a song that's in this time signature, and that's what math rock is. Yeah. It's just like, oh, dude, have we written a song in 92.6 yet?
No.
It's like doesn't even exist. Yeah. And they're like, oh, okay. But no.
In 4/5?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so practice obviously important, but for me, if you're making stuff and writing music,
that's important.
I think it's just making as much as you can, like making as many things as you can, or at least not letting ideas document everything you do is what I would say. Because that's something that I did not do, and I've written hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of songs, and many of them I could kind of remember, but it was more like I wrote it and then maybe there's a voice memo somewhere or something, but it's never meant to see the light of day or whatever. Yeah. And a lot of things I didn't document. And those are just, it's just not doing justice to your ideas. Because, I mean, even if they're crappy ideas, it would be so cool to look back at my ideas from when I was 13
and
that
build
probably
off of it,
sucked. Yeah. You could build off of it, or you could just go back and be like, it's almost like that musical memory thing. Like, you go back and go, this is a terrible song, but you're like, oh man, this is really what it felt like to get broken up for the first time or something, whatever it is.
Yeah, your emotions.
To have that, like, diary.
It's like
a
cool.
diary of music.
You're seeing your progress as well as like, your growth. You see like where you started, where you are now, what you would have done differently, or like what you again, you can build off of it, or just delve into what you were feeling at that point.
Right. And I mean, if you get in the habit of recording, say you're a musician, you can speak from a musician's perspective. If you're a musician and you have musical ideas and you have song ideas or whatever, even if you just put the idea down and it's crappy, even if it's crappy, if you get in the habit of putting ideas down, it's something I've found, then you will never let a really good idea get away, which happens to me all the time. Because I have all these songs. For example, right now, I have a bunch of songs that I really want to make, but I wrote them a year ago and now they kind of lost steam. And I don't feel like I can make a good version of it, so I kind of feel like it's like, that sucks.
Also, did you lose what you were going through at that time?
Yeah, that's
to
exactly
where
what
like
I'm saying.
it's not as easy to write about it anymore, or like to fill it in.
Yeah, I mean, even if the song's done, it's like I can't make a great recording of it because I'm not in that headspace anymore.
I don't feel that anymore. Yeah. Interesting.
So I love how you exactly said that, coming from a songwriter's perspective to just being that musician perspective. In a sense, it's like I've tried to come at it as both. I'm a lead guitarist, but also I started as a songwriter, and so I've had a block, a sense, but I can write guitar parts all the time. Right. But then I can't write guitar parts when I'm writing song parts, like words.
So it's like you're switching between the two.
It's like I'm switching two hats.
Yeah. Well, those are so different. Yeah. Lead guitar player versus songwriter is so different because
it's almost two solos.
Right. Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, now it's time for this one to sit back and let the other one do the talking, and it's.
If you're a lead guitarist and singing, you're a brilliant mind.
If what?
If you're a lead guitarist and singing, you're a brilliant mind.
If you're doing both,
the line, be careful. Be careful because you can't be too busy with it. But like, people like Mac DeMarco, I don't know if you've listened.
Oh yeah, I love Mac.
Okay, Mac. He takes the whole. He does the whole thing. You watch him do it, and you're just like, oh, I got a lot to freaking learn, dude.
Yeah, and his band too. He'll be lead guitar, then he'll be rhythm guitar, then he'll just not have a guitar. And if you have a band like that, that's where having a great band is great, because you can just kind of go, oh, I want to do it for that.
Well, it's about him essentially.
It's like exactly. It's like
but he is doing all those parts, and that is going on in his headspace, and he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna bring it down here, so the vocals are gonna take over there. That's the hardest freaking part about it.
What did you think about his, what was like 900 song album, whatever it was?
No way.
Brand new.
Well, it was like 80 something.
The newer stuff he's come out with.
I think he released a record that was just like
It was
little voice
like,
memos. And it was like 100 songs.
Yeah,
No way.
It was interesting. I'd rather go.
Have
back
you
to
seen
the
his
older
YouTube
stuff and
channel?
Listen to what I want to. His YouTube channel's beautiful.
Dude, his YouTube channel is hilarious.
It's just
He,
funny.
What is it? It's
He's
like
quirky
skits or
the whole
something?
time.
He
It's just
had
him.
it's quirky as hell, but he had a concert in New York, and
It's just him.
the whole parking lot was backed up. So he went out and made a YouTube video of him helping people park.
Oh yeah.
But he was like,
yeah.
he's like, I'm a professional backer. Been doing it for like damn near 30 years of my life. He's like 25,
Yeah, right.
and he's helping people back into spaces, and that's the whole video. And he's
I
like,
love-
it's a hard gig, but this is what I do.
He's totally perfect for this era of like content style where it's just like very bizarre and it's
Doesn't matter.
But he's all
It's just-
analog in his
extremely weird.
garage too, which
Yeah.
is insane.
He's also a lost breed in the sense of the analog, like the way that he records and everything that he does. It's beautiful. It's
In
almost
his garage.
composing.
Yeah, he's great.
Perfect
man.
segue.
So going off of that, hold on. I want to know, like, where do you find your muse and inspiration?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah,
good.
what's
Because I mean, you
your
were talking about
inspiration?
how
Yeah.
Comes
going
in
back
years.
a year, you weren't in that exact same headspace
Seasons.
and losing some ideas. So like, where do you find your
Biggest
inspiration,
inspo.
your muse? Like, what inspires you to just write or, you know?
Yeah, it's weird because I don't think I've ever been a person that can sit down and even if I experience some event that I feel like I feel something about, want to express my feelings about it, I can't sit down and just go, I'm going to write a song about that. It just doesn't work, which actually a lot of people can do that. A lot of good songwriters can do that. They can just go, I have this vague feeling about loss or something, or like I'm feeling energetic today or something. I just write a song and just make it. But I've never really been able to do that. It kind of comes, because I guess the inspiration would be more in terms of what you write your lyrics about.
Yeah.
You know, lyrics are so weird because everyone writes lyrics in a different way. Like I have so many songwriter friends. Everybody writes lyrics in a different way. I have some friends who will write down a poem basically, and then just have a riff like 5 years later and go, oh, like that'll fit. And then I have some people who, you know, come up with some lines and try to write a song as they go. And then you have people who write all their music and then they just match the lyrics to it.
That seems the easiest in my opinion.
I think it's the most linear way.
Yeah.
Because when you write a song and you have rhythm and
It's easy to
foundation
match
already,
the
language matches rhythm.
Exactly,
Like
yeah.
if you were speaking in a certain way, I could mimic that so easily. Or if somebody was drumming, I could that's why rap
Emphasis,
people
the
can
way
rap,
you
right?
talk.
Like
Yeah.
you think about hip hop, it's like you need what did somebody say? I just need a beat.
Yeah.
You just need a beat, and then
Drop
you,
the
you
beat.
can just dance over it really easily.
Yeah.
Whereas I do think fitting music to language, it's going to be hard unless you kind of wrote rhythmically already, but then you already
Yeah.
had a preconceived idea of rhythm. So it's
So it was already kind of pre-written besides the fact.
I've seen
Yeah.
a new style come out with these last 10 years where they hum it. They'll hum it to something already.
Yep.
So they'll hum out their rhythm. Oh, I like the way I hum that melody. And then they come back through and they add their words in to those hums
That's
and into
dope.
that little thing. Oh, because
Yeah.
now we can just instantly, I don't like that. Cut it, redo it. Oh, let's
Yeah,
try
we're not
these
on
words
tape
with that,
anymore.
You know.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Spend
So,
money.
God.
so I actually, just side note, I really like recording a tape. I record a lot
Really?
to cassette. I record demos a lot to cassette.
Frick yeah.
That's so dope.
The reason is not because I'm not trying to make a great production on tape, but it forces you. I have a 4-track. It's 4 tracks.
Yeah.
If you want another track, you have to re-record it back into another tape. That takes up 2 channels. Then you can put 2 more on, but it sounds shittier and shittier as it
Yeah.
goes. And then you can keep this. Mac Marco does this too. He does it's a tape. I think his first record he recorded all on a Tascam tape machine.
Wow.
It's really hard to overdo things in a scenario like that because you don't
have the option.
It's so limiting.
Yeah.
You can't go, oh, what if it was, because the worst thing that people do in arranging music is just stack a ton of shit.
Yeah.
And then you can't hear what's going on. And the melodies that made the song good are just part of this big thing. Whereas some of the best recordings is like 2 voices or just
Organic.
or
Stuff
like
just gets lost and
drums and a guitar and voice like that.
I also think that
Let
over-
the beautifulness of it take it away.
less
Yeah.
is more.
And yeah, exactly. And you can always add more, but in terms of demos, I think tapes are great because you have to leave the mistakes in. You're never going to spend 9 hours trying to get one riff to sound right. You can't do that. It's not a timeline. You just
It
can't.
feels
You
real,
have to get a good
too,
take.
like-
Yeah, you have to get a good take unless
Yeah.
you're really good
Raw.
splicing. So I What was I talking about before that?
Your muse.
Oh yeah, lyrics. So similar what you were talking about with humming, humming and then matching lines to it. Typically what happens for me, so my background's in linguistics, and I really like I was really interested in phonology, just like the sounds of language. So
I bet his
languages have Rival's a cool movie. I do like that
Oh
movie.
yeah.
It wouldn't have come to mind, but actually it is a lot of linguists like that movie because
it's a language-based movie.
It's a pretty accurate
We'll get there.
depiction of how you would like if you were approached with a completely new language, how you would actually decipher it. It's like pretty much how it would happen.
And it's Amy Adams. Come on.
And yeah, it's a really cool concept. Anyway, so sounds of language. I'm really interested in sounds and just the sound of a language. Like different languages have different sounds and different types of vowels and all these types of things, and they all have their particular sound and rhythm. And a lot of times, what will happen is I'll just be doing some random task, and then I hear or I have like a rhythm that I'm tapping, and then just basically it usually comes out as a melody with like the sounds of words that are going to be in there as placeholders. Like that's always how my melodies come. So like if it was like, I wouldn't get like, I would get like, and then it would be like
before melody.
It's what?
Rhythm before melody?
I think the melody usually just comes with a rhythm, but like the
Like you're
words
doing something
are
like
baked
if
in, but
you're
there's no meaning
tapping a
into the words.
pan, like cooking, and it's like, tick, tick, tick. I mean,
Yeah.
that's very simple, right? But like then
Right.
you hear it, it's like, whoa, that's a new sound.
Yeah. But it's like, I don't have the words, but
Yeah.
I have that the phrase is going to end with ch, or like it's going to be like an I sound, like
Uh-huh.
fine
Yeah,
or guy
yeah,
or something,
yeah.
but I don't know what it is. Do you get this kind of?
Yes.
And it's almost like a template, and then I usually end up just putting words in that fit that sound like feel the best just physically as words. Like I hate the sound of like the two words poster wall, but I really like wall poster. Like those two words are nice together in one way, but not in the other way. And so I would choose words based on how they basically feel to say and how they sound, but not really the meaning. But what's really weird
So you're
is that
more
the
of a math
songs
rock.
that, yeah, I'm totally a math rocker.
Yeah.
But no, but usually what it was really weird is that it always feels like I'm not writing about something in particular, but then I go back to the song with these lyrics, and then it's like explained to me from myself what I was writing about. Like
That's
I
so
was
cool,
writing
though.
about something, but I can never be like, I'm going to consciously write about this thing. It's like it has to come out by accident.
So your
kind
own
of.
song is your own journey, which is super cool. Like
Yeah,
you're
it's fun to
experiencing
see
your own
that.
music.
Yeah, you kind of experience what the song's about after you wrote it, which is
That's
pretty cool.
so dope.
You come
That's pretty
home with that rhythm or melody, but both in the same. Do you sit on a piano first? Do you sit on a guitar? Do you sit on a bass? Like what? Or do you sit on? Do you sit down? What speaks to me?
It's usually guitar.
Guitar.
I have a.
Oh, yeah.
So I do play electric guitar, but I'm mostly.
You go chord bass first.
I'm
melody,
like
or-
acoustic finger picking.
Love that.
Ooh.
It's really my style of guitar playing. I play electric guitar, but if I'm just playing at home, it's a lot of finger style stuff. And I've always really been into like the mid late 90s like indie just acoustic guitar kind of based in folk music, that type of
Fast
thing.
car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. I'm just
Actually, the cover actually.
Yeah,
The country
way
cover
better.
is just great.
I'm just messing with you.
yeah.
It's just like the first '90s acoustic cover I could think
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
Like,
But like Elliott Smith or like like that kind of era. It's just kind of a type of guitar playing. I got really into that style. It's kind of become my main style of playing. I usually just sit down with that, but I play a baritone,
Oh,
ooh.
which is like.
well, you didn't bring
so
it.
great.
Damn it.
I should have.
Next time we
I didn't know
tell
you
'em.
were played, so
It's okay.
Next time.
Next time.
yeah, I'll totally.
I
bring
really
one.
want. I really want to.
I mean, dude, we
fiddle
want to have
around on a
repeat people
baritone.
come on the show, so like,
Yeah.
I love that.
we'd love to have you back on.
We're
Okay,
talking
so
about
we've
doing
got-
live shows too. So I mean,
We've got 15 minutes left, so we're gonna hop into the weirdly side of
Okay.
this, which is movies, film, and all of that.
'Kay.
Which is
So, obviously we're mainly film based,
Right.
Us specifically.
we're just weirdly artistic. So
What's
we're-
your favorite show or movie?
I had two guesses.
Okay.
ooh, you're gonna take a guess.
I had
So-
two
okay,
guesses.
Oh,
so-
I have-
okay.
I have
see.
been, or I have been around Josh for many years. We both have. We've crossed paths. We've known. My sister was best friends with your sister for a long time. Blah blah blah. My guess is, out of major series,
Uh-huh.
Lord of the Rings, not Star Wars, not Harry Potter, not
That's funny. Like 5 minutes before you showed up.
Yeah.
Like I was
It's
writing these out, and he's
out
like,
of series.
honestly, I
it's-
think he's more of a Lord of the Rings guy.
yeah, out of series, it's Lord of the Rings, and then you said linguistics, so it's got to be Arrival. Like that's got to be a top.
That's
For
like
sure.
good guesses.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a film person. I haven't seen that many movies. I haven't watched that many TV shows.
Okay.
I did really like Arrival. That I remember there being. I don't remember exactly what happened. I remember the twist, whatever the twist is in that movie. Isn't she like part
Her
of the
daughter's been
guy
dead
or
this whole
something?
time.
Yep.
Her daughter's dead the whole time, and they've
Oh,
been
yeah.
divorced. Yeah.
Right. Oh, right.
Yeah.
I remember that being like, oh, that's not just a crappy like, holy shit, this is too insane twist. It was like really cool.
It actually
because it
hurt.
really makes you replay the whole movie again. in your head.
Yeah, because it was like they had to do this together, and then it made you feel like the separation between the two.
Yeah.
And the reason for it is because their daughter was dead.
Yeah.
So it was more of a heart wrenching
Yeah.
twist
Yeah.
than it was like, whoa.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember that. I liking that. But movies, I don't even know what I would say for a movie. I like Jeopardy.
Let's go. TV show.
Come on down, baby.
I like Jeopardy and
What
watching
is
baseball.
Jeopardy?
Movies for 100.
Yeah. What is Jeopardy? Yeah. Exactly. Jeopardy. I watched Jeopardy last night, and I played. I was
What
very
series
bad
are
at-
they on?
bad
I
last
mean, are
night.
they on the 100th year?
Well, Alex Trebek
Yeah,
is dead.
R.I.P. Alex Trebek.
Yeah.
right?
R.I.P.
Yep, It
R.I.P.
went so downhill. Sorry, Ken Jennings is from Seattle, and
Okay.
I think he's doing fine on the show.
But he's no
But
Alex
it's
Trebek,
no
who's
Alex
just
Trebek.
He's
impossible
no
to
Alex
follow.
Trebek.
Alex Trebek.
They
is
may have been
really-
9.5s, but those are some big boots to fill.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
so you don't really watch movies or TV shows. What do you fall asleep to then? Like, what do you read?
podcasts.
Podcasts.
Okay. What do you listen to?
Weirdly,
Um,
Duh,
Mostly-
weirdly artistic.
So I used to. I just play you guys' voices all night. and,
Good.
Okay.
Good.
Stalker.
It's the only reason I'm on the show is just to hear myself talking about it.
Yeah.
But
He's gonna
I've
have
always
this
been.
episode on replay.
Yeah, I've always had. I've always been into podcasts, but it's gone through different phases. Like I went through a phase where I listen to politics shows and stuff. I don't really do that anymore. It's more like just stuff that I'm interested in hobby-wise. So
I think
I
that's
can,
really
I can relate to
important,
that
too.
I can relate to that.
Yeah,
I
like,
listen
I-
to like a lot of like Magic the Gathering podcasts.
that's
myself,
awesome. Yeah,
like,
because it really
Music
helps you
ones.
deepen your knowledge of a subject, kind of in a passive way, and
Well, it's like
you
that
don't
back
need a
end
noise
writing.
in your life. It's just you need stuff that you like in your life.
Yeah.
So you listen to podcasts about it. So there's one really good one, kind of in the Jeopardy vein, which is Stuff You Should Know.
Ooh.
Have you guys ever listened to that?
No, but
Have you
I
ever seen
like
How
the
Stuff
title
Works?
of it. I love How Stuff Works.
Yeah.
How
so
it's made, how stuff works,
Yeah.
any of those shows.
Yeah, so they've done like thousands, I'm pretty sure, thousands of episodes. They've been going for like 10, 13 years.
Damn.
Oh, jeez.
And it's just
starting that
30
tomorrow.
to 45 minutes about a subject, and it's totally random subjects like
Love that.
bonsai trees or like how does spackling work, and it's really in depth
Hey,
and fun.
wow.
to listen.
That's my YouTube channel. Like, literally, I just watch how it's made. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I get home and I'm like satisfied.
Yeah.
Satisfy me, YouTube.
Yeah, right.
Satisfied.
So that one's really good. I didn't listen for a while, but then I got back into it recently, and then a lot of baseball.
Baseball.
John
okay.
Boy.
What's your team?
John Boy?
Mariners.
I
I
love
work
John
for the
Boy.
Mariners.
Mariners.
this
Oh
season.
yeah, you said you work for the Mariners.
John Boy's good stuff.
John Boy's good.
He's Locked on Mariners is really good for Mariners fans. Good Mariners
John
podcast.
Boy
Okay.
taught me baseball. Like, he taught me
Yeah, dude.
just like literally it was like, oh, there's
He's
a
made a lot
reason
of
why
fans.
this guy's throwing this pitch is
Yeah.
the reason why he's not throwing it outside the box. And this made me better at playing baseball versus my friends online.
Yeah.
So he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's made a lot of
love it.
fans. Way better than like the official
Breaks it
broadcasts.
down for easy people, like
Right.
people that can't
It's
fully,
basically
that
like
didn't
baseball
play it.
for
Yeah.
dummies.
Yeah.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
but like
But it's
in a
funny,
fun
too.
in a fun way,
Okay.
and it makes you actually like smarter at baseball. You're like,
Yeah.
oh,
See, like,
this
I'd
is why
rather
this team
go
is
to
doing
baseball
that.
games
you know?
than watch them on TV.
Agreed.
No.
I feel
Like,
that way about
yeah.
soccer.
Look,
I like watching them on
dude,
TV too.
I
don't
love
know.
soccer.
No,
Like,
I'd rather go to a soccer game than watch it on TV.
Well, yeah, but
That's where
I'd
I'm
rather watch soccer than any other sport, whether it's on TV or live.
at. That's only because I understand.
I'd
it.
rather go to any
That's
sport
the
than
only
watch it
reason.
on
That's
TV.
that's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
Any sport I'd go into in person than
That's
on
true.
TV.
Yeah, I
Very
agree.
true.
Anything to have a drink with a
If
couple
I can
friends
smell
and have a
garlic
good
fries,
time.
we're set.
Ooh.
That's Seattle.
$20 for garlic
How-
fries.
What do we
Favorite
got?
artist / band?
Yes.
Who? If you want to do like a mix, you can say
Yeah,
like
I don't
who
really have
who's the muse these days?
I don't really have a favorite band, but I have I used to listen to a ton of music. Like I would keep I would listen to about like 1,000 albums every year that came out that year, and then 1,000 other albums from previous years. So I would listen to like 2,000 records a year.
Dude.
I keep it on an Excel document.
You have an Excel document of it.
I used to do that every year, but it's a lot less
That's
now.
insane.
Yeah, because I used to have so much time to listen to music, like with my previous
Now as an
job.
adult, now as an adult, it's like I have to go to work. I have to go.
You gotta choose what you listen to.
Yeah. So I still listen to a lot of records, but there are only like 5 to 10 that that have never left the rotation since I discovered
What are a
them.
few?
All right, so top.
So
5.
I really love David Bowie.
Woo.
I
Yep.
really love Kurt Weill.
Okay.
He has a band called the Violators.
Write this down.
Ooh,
right now.
the violence. That's a good one.
It's like
Being
I'm gonna
recorded.
write this
It's being
down.
recorded, Jordan.
It's okay. I'm gonna listen. I
Yeah.
gotta drive home tonight.
yeah. What kind of music are you into?
All kinds. I literally.
listen to
I'm not
everything here.
picky.
Honestly,
you-
though,
you
we
listen
listen
to
to
polka?
everything.
But I listen to jazz, to slow jazz, to.
Do you know
off-time jazz.
polka?
Kurt Weill.
No, I'm just challenging. I don't believe it when somebody says every time.
Yeah,
everything.
What
No.
is you? What do you like? What's the
I've
top?
listened from blues to like I love mathematical music is one of my most
Oh, cool.
favorite. Like anything that's gonna
totally.
charge my brain where I'm like thinking while I'm driving.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, oh there's a snare.
yeah. Totally. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kurt Weill's kind of like, indie rock.
Vile.
Vile.
Perfect. Added him.
Fingerstyle guitar player.
Love that.
And then
Anything I can learn something new that's hard.
yeah,
I
totally.
mean, this guy will come in and be like, "Hey, I learned this new song," and he's like, "Ding, ding, 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 ding."
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like,
dude.
"What the hell, dude?"
Every time you
It
come
only
in
took
and
me
just pick
6
it up.
months.
Polyphia has been dope, like listening to you.
Yeah,
play.
he's been
That
playing
takes 6 months.
Polyphia.
That
That's
takes months.
crazy.
That's
Have you heard
hard.
of Polyphia?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Duh,
dude,
he's
yeah,
heard of
yeah.
Polyphia.
Duh,
Come
he's
I'm
on.
not the
Sorry, my
biggest
bad.
This guy
fan.
listened to 2,000 records last year.
Phil Collins, any old acoustic fingerstyle Phil Collins, or not?
Are you asking
Phil.
No, Phil
Kagi.
Collins is a
Kagi.
drummer.
Sorry,
Sorry,
sorry. Phil
Yeah.
Kagi.
That's percussion,
Phil Kagi.
baby.
Oh, you know Phil Kagi?
Yes, I know Phil Kagi. I can
Phil
play Wind in
Kagi's
the Wheat
awesome.
and
Oh,
Castle
you know
Lands.
him.
Oh wow, that's impressive.
Castle, yeah.
You're
Yeah, I know
Those are
what
the
you're
two
talking
I've
about.
been learning from him, but it took me a year to learn Wind in the Wheat,
Yeah.
and 6 months for Castle. So
Oh
far.
wow, yeah. Phil
We
Kagi's
will have a
one
little
of the
shred session after this. by the
yeah,
way, so-
totally.
This
Uh,
guitar sucks. No, we won't.
Hey.
No, but Kagi, that's really cool.
my
You-
pride
you
and
listen to
joy
Phil
right
Kagi.
there.
He played it one time.
Yeah.
No,
I
Phil
got really
Kagi's my
into it,
boy.
and then,
I love
yeah.
Phil.
That's really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
He's one of the most underrated guitar players
And
ever.
he's missing a finger.
There's a quote about Phil Kagi. He's actually like a Christian artist.
Yeah.
But he's unbelievable guitar player. He can play every style. His voice sounds like a carbon copy of Paul McCartney.
Oh,
But
wow.
there was a quote, like a legendary quote. No one knows if it's true, but I think it's true. Jimi Hendrix was like, "Oh, people say I'm the best guitarist in the world, but it's actually Phil Kagi." In 1968, he said that.
Whoa.
He's still shredding. Unbelievable guitar player. Anyway, so and then my favorite album is probably it's by a band called Sparkle Horse, and it's called Good Morning Spider. That's probably my favorite album because that's just like the only album that I will always listen to no matter what I'm feeling. I'm always in the mood for that.
Good
one.
Morning
always.
Spider.
Okay,
Yeah, it's such a good album.
Downloading.
A lot of
love it.
recorded on tape.
I feel that.
Even better.
Very lo-fi.
Ooh, I found it.
What do you listen to real quick? Like,
Oh
Style
man,
wise.
I'm kind of all over the place. I was kind of born and raised on the 70s, 80s rock, as you know,
Cool.
Greg.
yeah. Oh yeah.
You know Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was
know
born and
Greg.
raised on that. You know, Rush, Def Leppard. You said The Doors as well. Get me going. I mean, that's
Def
a good one.
Leppard, 9 Arms and Sucks.
Yeah. Rush.
Because there's a guy with one arm and there's.
Yeah. I get it.
And they suck also.
And then my uncle very much introduced me into R&B. So like I'm very appreciative. Yeah, Rich. That's all he listens
I can
to.
see that. I can
Luther
see that.
Vandross, Brian McKnight,
Oh,
like
nice.
those guys. Yeah. So I'm a big person of vocals. Like you've heard me. Like when I showed you today, I was like, dude, check this out. Like I love good vocals, male or female. Like it's just, I love to hear someone that can lead the entire
Totally.
thing. So that's a lot of what drives me. Like. And then I have my guilty pleasures, you know, like boy bands and, you know, Bieber occasionally.
NSYNC, Backstreet
NSYNC,
Boys.
Yeah, no, but I would say I lean more towards 70s, 80s rock and then probably like a vocal heavy pop kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So for me, I come from a very diverse, because I speak 2 languages. So
Yeah.
I grew up with Spanish music from Mexico, and then learning, more American music. So on the American side, I'm a huge house head. Like I love techno, I love house.
This guy can shuffle.
I can shuffle. Yeah,
Sweet.
dude. I love shuffling. But like you were saying, with an album that you can listen to whenever, like for me, it's Ringo's Desert by Zoo. I don't know if you've ever.
I've never heard that album. I'll listen to it tonight.
There you go.
Zoo.
ZHU?
Yeah, ZHU.
Oh,
So Zoo, like he
is really good.
I've seen this man play live, and he did like a live DJ set where he did vocals. He played live while DJing.
Oh wow.
And it was like amazing.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Mixed media.
Ringo's Desert was by far one of my favorite albums. But then like I started appreciating a lot more of the music I listened to, my parents listened to when I was growing up. Like you kind of hear the music and you're like at the time you're like
at your
turn it
core.
off. And then now it's like, okay, like I understand the lyrics.
get
so
it.
like a lot of Vicente Fernandez, Los Tucanes de Tijuana. Like my dad loves that band.
Dude, we've been bumping Spanish music as we
Yeah.
renovated this place the last
So,
2
like,
years. Like
yeah,
that's
just
just
like
what
a-
we've been doing.
So I've been listening.
I feel
to
my
a little-
hips swing a little bit. And I'm like, okay, Jose, you gotta turn it off.
Yeah, so like a lot of Mexican music, like house definitely has my heart though. Like I'm a huge
awesome.
house head, and it's just that beat. Like I love a good beat.
Yeah.
So
You
it's
should give me
like,
some recommendations.
yeah,
I'm
I
not
got you,
very
I
well
got you.
versed in that
Yeah,
area.
I got you, man. I got you. But yeah, that's me. And Polyphia, I've been listening. You said
Oh,
you're not a
Polyphia is
huge fan,
unreal.
but
Krungbin
like,
and Polyphia have been
Well,
my two.
Polyphia's been.
I don't listen to
pretty-
them, but I do. I mean, obviously, it's incredible musicianship. Like some of the
They're
best.
very technical,
most
very
technical
like
bands, yeah.
very very good.
It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
They're
Like
playing tonight in Tacoma.
Oh, really?
I
Yeah.
wish we could just like get up and go right
Yeah.
now. Just
Everyone
like,
hop in
leave.
the car.
Like,
Let's go.
Let's
How
go.
much were those tickets?
100
$300.
bucks.
Playing in Seattle?
Tacoma Dome.
Tacoma.
They're playing Tacoma, so I don't think it's the Dome. But
It's not the
they're-
Dome.
I looked
It's
at
probably
tickets. They were
intimate
like
show
they were like
then.
95 a ticket.
Oh my god,
it's gotta be
dude!
so
I
many
would be there
hipsters
so
there.
right now,
Yeah.
so hard.
I want to go.
It's so hard.
I want to go so hard.
Jordan, what's your music?
My music. I want to touch on this real quick. So we talked about like growing up and having musical influence and stuff. I wish I freaking had that influence that you gotta have growing up. My parents were very sheltered. My first let out was my guitar teacher at 14, 15 years old. He was like, "This is the Beatles. Here, you get to go." And I got literally, my mind just boom, because I grew up Spirit 105.3, worship music.
He had an
whole
Oppenheimer
time.
experience.
Oppenheimer
of music,
experience.
of like
When that happened, though, like my music just went from like
Yeah.
chords to everything under the sun. And so now it's like still everything under the sun. I'm learning metal music, but at the same time I've been learning seal acoustics, fingering
love
styles.
seal.
Like
Cool.
I want to learn this in a classical style, so I'm going to come through and learn all the chords,
Yeah, I
and
love
I'm going to learn
seal.
through the lead
I
lines
love
and
seal.
try to
He's
write a
great
classical
R&B
style.
artist.
But as well as I grew up classical, I learned a little jazz on the way. I went to
Yeah.
college for music theory, and I
right.
got up to 1015 or whatever, or 115.
105.
Yeah,
1015.
Yeah. Shows
Get
how much
to the
college I did.
1,000 level
Whatever,
classes.
whatever. I did a couple years of music.
It's a
and stuff,
10-year
so it's
program.
like it's I don't know, like I love music, dude.
Yeah.
It's been a part
Music's
of
the
me for
best.
a long time, and I played shows growing up. I grew up in a pop punk band.
Yeah, you played Warped Tour, right?
I played Warped Tour a couple
Did you
times, and that
really?
was fun.
Yeah.
What was
That
the
was
band called?
fun. Shoreline Drive. We were pop punk, and I
Sounds
had
kind of familiar.
yeah.
Were you based around here?
Yeah, based around here, we played a lot of
Okay.
local shows and
Dude,
whatnot,
since I've
but-
known you, if there's a guitar in the room, you're picking it up and you're shredding it. Like,
Oh yeah, it's
That's
fun.
awesome.
It's what it's about.
I mean,
but
even when we were
it's what
working,
I do when I get home though. It relaxes me.
Yeah.
And it's like
It's
and
your
then
shut
I
off.
get on the video games.
Yeah, sure.
No.
Dude, we should play together sometime.
No. I'm down.
That's what
We'll
we were
make it
saying. Like
happen.
we should like
For-
record both of you guys for the intro of this episode.
Season
sick.
2.
Play something. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
cool.
That'd be really
Right
cool.
out the gate.
Yeah, man.
All right,
But-
so question 3: favorite superhero or villain?
Okay.
Or both.
I'm not really.
yeah,
That's fine,
but
you
you
can-
know of them. If
I
you
know
had to
you-
choose
okay.
I
one,
know
right?
of them.
If you
If
had
you
to
had to
choose
Okay,
one,
who's the
just
guy,
choose one. Just
villain. It can just be villain.
yeah.
It can
sure.
be
Who's the
villain.
It could just
guy?
be villain.
It's like I've only seen a couple Star Wars, but who's the guy who's like he has like a decaying face and he's like Darth Vader's boss. He
Oh,
wears a hoodie.
Palpatine?
Sidious.
Yeah, that guy.
Darth
You
Sidious.
that's who you want it. That's your favorite.
Do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, he's the most methodical villain ever.
He's also the
He's
best
in
one in
nine
I
the whole
wouldn't say
galaxy.
ever, but very methodical.
In 9 movies.
He's the most powerful.
You need to watch anime.
Well, okay. I'm talking to the
You need
to
to
the
watch some anime.
civilian. I'm talking to the civilian viewer.
Local
Most
civilians.
methodical villain out there is Aizen.
Who's that?
Yeah.
He's from Bleach. It's an anime.
Never heard of it.
Exactly.
This dude planned everything for like 30 years.
Or Saint Dane.
Oh.
Okay, that's a totally different topic. We'll go somewhere.
Whoa.
It's books we're
That's
reading.
books, dude.
Did you ever read Pendragon?
Read Pendragon.
Dude.
Never
Read
heard of it.
Pendragon.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I started
Never read
reading
it.
Pendragon for Miss Holmes' class.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so full circle. Like,
Yes.
Shout out, Miss Holmes.
I also remember we did an advertisement commercial, and your commercial for like groovy glasses was hilarious.
Oh,
I don't remember.
Yeah,
Damn, I
you-
wish I could find this stuff.
No, like you
Be
made
so
this
fun to
video
watch.
for groovy glasses because we all had to like make like this item that we had to sell and make
Yeah.
an ad for it, and
Yeah.
you did groovy glasses. And I remember you made this video, and it was hilarious because you impersonated
Okay, I
Hannah
remember this.
Montana.
Yeah, Hannah Montana.
You
yeah.
did
Cheech
who
and
else?
Chong, and
yeah,
then she wanted to turn it off.
Cheech and Chong. There we go.
Yeah, you
Miss
did
Holmes got mad
Ozzy.
about
You did
that.
Ozzy,
No.
bro. It was hilarious, dude.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was
Frick
like,
yeah.
dude. It's one of those like core memories almost, where it's like
Oh, that's
when
awesome.
when I think of Josh Celli, I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, Miss Holmes class, groovy glasses.
Groovy glasses.
Dude, that's cool.
I love that.
So he answered if
Yeah,
he's
so
a Sith
Je-
or Jedi.
Jedi or
He's going to be a
Sith?
Sith.
Would
he's
you be-
obviously a Sith. He's
would you be
obviously
a Jedi or would
he
you be
already
a
said
Sith?
he's a Sith. He's
Or
He
like,
chose
Sorry.
Palpatine. He chose
Obviously.
Palpatine.
with all his
Jedi.
blue, you would think he would be a Jedi, but he is a Sith. So
Jedis are just good and
They're
Sith is bad.
yeah, Jedi's are good.
Yeah.
Sith are
they're
bad.
not bad.
But there's also
all the
people-
way.
mean.
But, they
can
believe
tell I
in
just-
their order, and
Trying to
those ones
explain the
believe in their
philosophy of
order.
Star Wars.
I can tell you. I can tell
There
you.
is.
I'm definitely Sith.
Oh, so okay.
So I'm a
So it's
gray.
not like evil necessarily.
No,
Or is
no, it's
I'm a gray Jedi. So in the sense of like, I believe in good, but have to sometimes use bad to
Guess
do
what
what I
am.
need to do.
Guess what
That's
I am,
reasonable.
please.
So
I'll
I'm
go
a
with
gray.
that.
So there's like black, white, and gray. So there's the good light, and then the people that use both to progress in their story.
I'm more of an Anakin figure myself.
Yeah.
I was good, then I turned bad.
so both ends of the spectrum.
I'm both.
So he's
I'm
both.
non-binary.
Yeah,
Non. I mean, non-Jedi-nary.
Non-Jedi.
There we go. I believe in both sides
Yeah,
of
I'll
the
go with
Force.
what you said. That sounds good.
A gray Jedi.
And
Yeah.
if you had a lightsaber, what would be the color?
Blue.
Yeah, I'll probably go blue.
Blue.
Yeah. I like that
I like
teal
that.
too.
It
That
would
be
be
cool.
like
bandana
that.
dependent, whatever.
Yeah.
That'd be cool if you could
You're
change
G
it based on your
goddamn
taste.
independent.
Wait, is there like a bad? Isn't there like a set of good colors instead of bad?
Red is
Well,
the only
so
bad.
technically
Oh, so if
red.
I wore
Red is
bandana, that would be
bad,
my evil
But what is
red.
orange?
Red and orange are kind of the bad ones.
Here's the
Orange is
thing,
on the
though.
mix.
but
With the new Star Wars content that they're releasing, there are Sith that still have red sabers.
well, they're not Sith. They're fallen Jedi.
They're fallen Jedi that their
Let me
sabers
correct-
are
let me
red,
Correct you there.
but they still protect people.
Yeah.
So they have red lightsabers, but they still
Still
protect.
pretty good guys.
So they're still like okay.
They're
But
okay.
yeah,
He's an okay guy.
but they've made bad decisions in the past, so they have red lightsabers.
Gotcha.
Redemption.
I like that.
So they've killed people.
They
but
repent.
yeah, they've
Repent.
repented.
They've repented.
Yeah, yeah.
I like it.
I love
Okay,
that.
well,
All right, well, Josh, that is
Hey. Freaking
episode
great.
2, dude. Thank you for coming on.
thank you so
honestly.
much.
It's been a pleasure having you on. Hope
Thanks for
to see
having
you
me.
again.
We
Yeah, of
will
course.
see you
Oh, yeah,
again.
love
We
to.
will.
And as always, everyone,
Stay weird.
Stay weird. To Josh.
To Josh.
Cheers.
Huzzah.
Huzzah.
Weirdly, weirdly artistic. Weirdly, weirdly artistic.
Damn, that's weird.